Hello student, today I am going to start my lectures on electromagnetism. The very beginning of the electromagnetism, the topic I will cover in this video, that is moving charge in electric and magnetic field and Lorentz force. Now, if a point charge Q is placed in electric field, whether it is moving or it is static, then it will experience a force. That force will be equal to Q into E. That is electric field E, and the force will be in the direction of electric field. Now, if it is placed also in the magnetic field and the charge particle is moving, if it is static, then only this force will be experienced by the static electric charge. If it is moving in the magnetic field and electric field, then the additional force due to the magnetic field will be experienced by the point charge, and that force will be equal to Q into V. V is the velocity of the charge particle. V cross V. V is the magnetic field. That will be the additional force experienced by the charge particle. So the total force will be experienced by the point charge particle in electric and magnetic field will be equal to QE plus Q into V cross V. QE will be in the direction of electric field, and this will be this force, that is this force by the due to the magnetic field will be since it is cross product, will be in the direction of perpendicular to both V and B, both perpendicular to velocity and magnetic field. This force is called Lorentz force. This total force is called Lorentz force. After the scientist, Lorentz first experienced it in the experiment by experiment. As you know, that is the cross product. Cross product means we can say magnetic force equal to Q VB sin theta. Since cross product means we can write it is sin theta. Theta is the angle between V and V, and the maximum value will be Q VB when theta equal to 90 degree. Sin theta will be 1. Now the direction of this force will be determined by Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, as we know that if we take three mutually perpendicular finger, and this will be the velocity, this is the magnetic field, and this will be the force. This will determine the force. That is, if we place it in this way, this is the velocity, this is the magnetic field, then the force on the charge particle will be along this direction. If it is in this way, then the force will be in the downward direction. Okay, depending upon the direction of velocity, magnetic field, the direction of the force, magnetic force will be determined. Okay, if the velocity is in this direction, magnetic field is in this direction, then the force, magnetic force on the charge particle will be in this direction. It will be determined by Fleming's left hand rule. If velocity of the charged particle is parallel to the magnetic field, V is parallel to the magnetic field B, then what will happen? The angle between V and B will be 0. Okay, so QVB sin theta will be 0 if V parallel to B. So minimum value of magnetic force of the charged particle will be 0. Now if maximum value I have shown that it will be QVB when theta equal to 90 degree. Theta equal to 90 degree means velocity V in this direction and force and magnetic field, Fleming's left hand rule I have shown just now that it is 90 degree. So when theta equal to 90 degree, so force will be along the perpendicular direction of the velocity. So what will happen? The charged particle will move in the circular path if velocity is perpendicular to the, if it is in this direction velocity and force is in that direction, so it will go in a circular path. That means when theta equal to 90 degree means velocity is perpendicular to magnetic field, the charged particle will experience a circular path. Okay, now what will be the radius of this circular path? We can determine the radius of the circular path. Now the force when it is V is perpendicular to B, force I have shown that it will be equal to QVB. That is the source for source of force. That is the force which will cause the charged particle to move in circular path. So this will be the centrifugal force or centripetal force. That means mv square by r, or r we can write is equal to mv square by qvb, or is equal to mv by qb. That will be the radius of the circular path. Okay, now from this r omega, v is equal to r omega we know, and we can calculate the angular velocity omega, angular velocity of the charged particle. R omega is equal to v, or omega is equal to v by r. So that means v by qb by m. That will be the angular frequency of the charged particle, and time period we can calculate from here is equal to 1 by frequency. From angular frequency omega, that is qb by m, we can calculate the time period of revolution of this charged particle in this magnetic field. Time period t is equal to 2 pi by omega. Time period t is equal to 2 pi by omega. That means equal to 2 pi by qv m. That is the time period of revolution of the charged particle in the circular path. Or we can calculate frequency of revolution. Frequency of revolution means 1 by t. That will be equal to qb by 2 pi m. I have discussed about the velocity parallel to magnetic field and perpendicular to magnetic field. That means the minimum value of the magnetic force and maximum value of magnetic force. Now what will happen if the theta, that is angle between velocity and magnetic field, is in between 0 and 90. what will happen? Now, it will evaluate a helical path. V is in this direction, V is in this direction, angle is theta, that is y axis. Then it will evaluate path in this way. So there will be two component of velocity now, V parallel and V perpendicular. V parallel will be the component of velocity that in the particle will move along the magnetic field in this direction, and V perpendicular will force the velocity component of the velocity due to which it will move a helical path. When theta is greater than 0 and less than 90, that is in between 0 and 90 degree, when the angle between velocity and magnetic field is along angle between 0 and 90 degree. Okay. Now in this case the centrifugal force, that is mv square by r, and the smaller I will take, mv square by r, radius of the helix, and the component of velocity will be this, that will be q v b sin theta. We can say v sin theta means this component of velocity along y component, that means perpendicular component, that is we can write q v perpendicular, or r I can write from this m v perpendicular square q v perpendicular, or it will be m v perpendicular by q v, that is radius of the helix will be this one. Okay. Now we just before I have derived the expression of frequency and time period. Frequency and time period both are independent of, you can see from the expression that both are independent of velocity. So frequency and time period will not be affected whether affected by the cross product, that is theta. So frequency and time period will be same, whether it is circular path or helix. Okay, now student, I think you understand up to this topic, very elementary and very starting point of electromagnetism. Later on I will give more video on electromagnetism. Okay.